Today I want to revisit a 90s classic. This definitely makes me think junior high and high school when I smell this fragrance. It's very nostalgic for a lot of you guys my age. Today we're going to be talking about the original Chrome from Azzaro. Stay tuned. So I don't have the box anymore, but we can take a look at this iconic bottle. Very light blue colored juice. It says Chrome Azzaro etched into the glass. Has this diamond plate pattern in the top of the cap. It's very synonymous with the Chrome line. We'll see some fragrance info on the bottom if I could get the right lighting for it. There is fragrance info on the bottom on the sticker. And then cap does hold very well into place with a standard atomizer. Let's talk about this scent. So I'll have the notes up on the screen, most likely from Fragrantica. So it's your typical 90s designer where there's a whole bunch of notes. So in its simplest form, the way this has always come across to me, it's a bright metallic shower gel scent is the most simplest way to put how this smells. So it's bright, fresh, sharp, metallic, full of citrus up top. You're gonna get a bunch of zesty, pretty much zesty, sharp and astringent, kind of a stingy smell. It's not just an alcohol blast, it's the way it comes across. There's a lot of rosemary here that gives this bright, fresh, spicy, crispy green edge to the fragrance. It's a very aromatic quality to this top note. It's very bright, very uplifting, but like I said, it's one of the quintessential shower gel scents. Basically 90s in a bottle is kind of how you can look at it, because 90s was really the overrunning of the more synthetic blue, light blue style fragrances, full of citrus, some greens, some florals, kind of stepping outside of a fougere, and it's kind of the rise of the citrus aromatic is kind of how I view the 90s, because everybody had their hot new citrus aromatic designer fragrance, the CK1s, the Aqua di Gios, and so on and so forth. Boss Bottled was a little bit different from that Boss number 6, but this was the crisp, clean, super fresh, easy to like, mass appealing blue fragrance of the 90s. This was that. Yes, Aqua di Gio had its own, carved out its niche as the highlight of the 90s, I guess, because if you look at sales and how iconic it was, I would put this up there, very close to it, among the younger men. Teenagers, kids in high school, junior high. This was hot on the scene back in those days for me and my friends and people I knew. This was more popular than Aqua di Gio in the mid to late 90s from where I'm from. I'm not saying that's across the globe, but in South Louisiana, this was what a lot of people were wearing. So it's a very nostalgic scent for me, and it makes me think of those days because, like I said, it's not the original shower gel scent, but it's the most well-known shower gel scent from my era, from my generation. And it doesn't change a whole lot. Some of that sharp metallic nature that you get in the opening does kind of kill off. It loses its edge a little bit, but it never gets away from smelling like shower gel. You get a little bit of a muskiness, a clean muskiness. It's a, dry woody vetiver kind of smell with some florals that do come in, but it's not one that's very complex. It doesn't change a lot. There's not a bunch of nuances. It kind of goes from sharp citrus, bright shower gel, to slightly green and fresh, woody, lightly floral, then woody musky. It's kind of the phases of the fragrance on my skin. In my experience over the years, I've had, I believe this is my 3rd bottle in my lifetime that I've had. This is a 30 ml bottle. I don't wear it that much these days. I did take it with me on my trip to Texas for the holidays to visit family this year. I've been wearing it over the last several days, and I felt like it was a good time to revisit this one. And it's 90s in a bottle. It's classic. It's an iconic 90s fresh fragrance. It's a staple in anyone's collection if you like gathering cheaper fragrances that smell good. If you want to really know what the 90s was about, fragrances like this are what the 90s were about. It screams it. Now, let's talk about the performance. So some people get terrible performance from this one. I've always gotten pretty solid performance, even from this particular bottle, which this bottle is like let's say I picked this up around 2019, 2018. I picked this bottle up, and it gives me every bit of 6-ish hours on my skin. Not crazy long lasting, but for what the scent profile is, super bright, clean, fresh fragrance, that's pretty solid performance, especially for it being a cheap fragrance. Man, it just smells good. Projection's not super heavy, though it is pretty bright and more on the ozonic side, where it really wafts in the air pretty easy. It gets out in the air. It's a light enough aroma to where it can carry pretty well. The sillage on it's actually, I'm not going to call it heavy, but in the moderate average range where it will travel. When you walk by somebody, it doesn't linger in the air for long, but if you're in a breezy or well-circulated area, if you're a breezy outside or well-circulated room, it'd be pretty easy for a lot of people within a decent sized radius of you to at least get a very faint whiff of chrome on your skin. At least in my experience, that's the case. So performance is average to slightly above average, believe it or not, in my experience. I'm not saying everybody's gonna get that kind of performance, but I know I'm not the only one. I know I don't stand alone with getting decent performance to, you know, kind of very good performance really for what it is from Azzaro Chrome. While this has spawned tons of flankers, it's still tried and true. It's still replicated even to this day, where there's a lot of newer fragrances that'll come out that kind of smell like chrome mixed with something or another. But it's still ever so present even in the 2020s like we are now. I think it's a timeless classic that'll never go away. Like I said, it's still spawning tons of flankers. It smells great. If you don't like synthetic and sharp, you won't like it. But if you understand the scent profile and you just want a clean shower gel type of scent, this is one of the best ever that actually performs pretty well. Overall, not a must try, not a must own, but it's one worth dabbling in, especially if you like getting the chrome flankers, Aqua, Extreme, Chrome Pure. If you've gotten some of the flankers, I don't see why you wouldn't want to try the original. Even just to, you know, spend 15 bucks and get a little 30 ml like this. Who knows, you may end up blowing through the bottle and having to get a big 100 or 200 ml bottle, which you can get for a great price from most discounters online. It's heavily, massively produced. It's easy to get a bottle at a really good price. Rack stores, discounters online, it is not hard to find a bottle of Chrome or one of its many flankers, from United to Chrome Legend to any of the Chromes I listed before, the Extreme, the Aqua, the Intense, the Summer flankers. It goes Chrome Pure, it goes on and on. It has spawned an entire catalog of fragrances under the Chrome name because of the popularity of this original fragrance right here. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you still wear Chrome from time to time? You know, it's still pretty popular. When I worked at Jaguar Land Rover, top dog over there, whenever I started, that's actually his scent that he wears every day. He still wears Chrome. So I relate it to him very, very closely, actually. In my recent years, that's who I know of that wears this religiously. It's his everyday signature scent. He wears Chrome every day. It's not too often I run across somebody that does that, but it's noteworthy when it happens. So definitely worthy of a try. If you have it in your collection, you haven't worn it in a while, take it from me. I haven't worn it in a while up until the last several days. I've been wearing it every day at night for the last several days, and it compelled me to want to talk to you guys about it because it's as 90s in a bottle as it gets. Right up there with your Aqua de Jo's, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger, CK1, Boss Number 6. They all scream 90s, and maybe none more so than Azzaro Chrome. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Azzaro Chrome and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.